All right. Good morning, fifth graders. It's Thursday, February 20th, and this brings us to today's grammar activity. So go ahead, press pause, write down the questions in your notebook, and we'll come back to them as soon as you're done writing. All right. Welcome back. That was fast. We'll take a look at number one. It says, what contraction is made from these two words? So if you remember, a contraction is when we combine two words to make one, and when we take out, we have to take away a letter, and we replace it with with an apostrophe. So have not becomes haven't. Haven't. So it's HAVEN apostrophe T. So all we did to make this word shorter is get rid of the O. So I don't know if it's really that much worth it, but that's someone said it's worth it, so we're going to have that as a contraction. Haven't. All right, this next question shows that this is actually kind of an old. It's an old question. What reference source would you use to find the address of the nearest music store? Well, I would think most of you, if you had to find a music store, would probably just type it into the internet, and the internet would spit out the information for you. In fact, I guess it's wondering what kind of music store it is, because it could be an instrumental music store. But if you were going to buy music, you'd probably just download it off the internet. So this is a very old question. A reference source would be things like a dictionary, encyclopedia, that sort of thing. But in this case, you wouldn't use a dictionary to find the address. You wouldn't use an atlas even, or a map. What you would use to find the address of the nearest music store is a telephone book. Most of you have, you store your phone numbers in your phone, and if you need something, I don't even know if people use phone books anymore. They're probably going to be disappearing, but that's what you'd use. The telephone book has addresses and phone numbers of people. So usually it lists the person's name and then their phone number with their address. There's a section of the phone book called the Yellow Pages, at least in America, and that's for businesses. And you look up the title of the business. Usually that's not alphabetical, it's by category. So you'd have to, if you wanted to find music shops, you'd look up the section that says music shops. If you need to go to a grocery store, you would look up the section called grocery stores. And then your grocery store would be listed alphabetically underneath that heading. So that's how you would do that. Number 3, correct these sentences. Will you help them people paint their fence? Asked his father. All right, so we have asked his father. That tells us it's dialogue. So we need quotations. The first letter starts with a capital. First word starts with a capital. Will you help? It's not them people. It would have to, that sounds really impolite. Will you help them people? Will you help those people paint their fence? Now, it's kind of funny. They're using the wrong there. In fact, the one they're using is a contraction. It's supposed to be they are, but they're not even using the right there. It should be THEIR, there, because it's an individual or a person's fence. Will you help them paint their fence? Whoops, fence, comma, quotation marks. Or this is a question. What am I saying? Will you help those people paint their fence? So remember, when we have question marks or exclamation marks in dialogue, we don't have to put a comma to offset it. Will you help those people paint their fence? Asked his, I'm in trouble typing, his father. Period. So don't forget the period there. Remember, guys, this may seem like I say this every time, but a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends in a period or some other proper form of punctuation. It's amazing how often I read sentences you guys write where you don't put the capital letter and you don't put the period. So you need to remember to do that. Number 4, we're tired of doing chores every day, complained Max and Emma. So this is an interesting one too. We need to, it's dialogue, so it's someone speaking, so we're going to have to start with quotation marks. This first word, were, is not how you spell it. They're not trying to say were, they're trying to say the words we are, but it's a contraction. So when you put the two words we are together as a contraction, it's, remember we start the word with the capital letter, we apostrophe re. So we're getting rid of the word are. We're tired of doing chores every day. So this is comma, complained. We've got to capitalize Max because it's a proper noun, and Emma, period. So here, oh, I got to add in my, see, I did this one goofy too. I need to put in my quotation marks there. We're tired, I spelled this wrong. We're tired of doing chores every day, complained Max and Emma. So this were needs to be a contraction. We need a comma here because there's no question mark, there's no exclamation point. It offsets the sentence and tells us who's saying this. We need to capitalize Max, we need to capitalize Emma, and put a period there. Number 5, add a prefix to the word agree. So remember, a prefix, pre means before, so we've had our Greek and Latin affixes. So we need to add a prefix. Pre means before. A suffix comes at the end of a word. So in this case, we need to add something to the beginning of agree. And the one that comes to my mind is dis, as in disagree. To disagree means to not agree. We should be familiar with that. We've learned about the meaning of the prefix dis. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you on Friday.